tunnel, they'll reroute the trains, they'll repair the old train tunnel, and both of the tunnels should be up and running by the end of 2038.
Oh.
I would put money on 2045. Up above the vessel, you might pick out on the left-hand side the triangle sticking out of the side of the building. That is the edge observation, so you can see all the way down to the streets of Manhattan. I'm going to stay here on the boat. But if you love a thrill, for $85, they will tie you up and let you just lean off the side of the building.
There's a vessel.
I'm going to stay here.
Yeah, the edge and the vessel. Yeah.
On the right-hand side of the boat, we're now alongside Hoboken, New Jersey. Hoboken is the home of Frank Sinatra and the first ever played baseball game. Hoboken is 1 square mile, and for being 1 square mile, it has the most bars and churches of any square mile in the United States. On the left-hand side on the waterfront coming up are the blue buildings with the red and white stripes. That is Chelsea Piers, our famous sporting facility. It is also where Law and Order is filmed. The Empire State Building's back in view. It's looking pretty good. The Empire State Building was completed in 1931, ahead of schedule and under budget, which sounds amazing, but also meant that no one was moving in, and it got the nickname the Empty State Building. My grandfather worked in the Empire State Building, and his favorite memory from working there was that one day he ran into the President of the United States in the elevator, and he got to say, "Good afternoon, Mr. President," and that was the end of his story. The green netting on the left is protecting us all from flying golf balls. It's also protecting my yacht. And if you believe that, I have a bridge to sell you. On the left coming up is Little Island, the park being held up by these mushroom or golf tee shapes. Little Island is designed by the same artist that did the vessel back at Hudson Yards, Thomas Heatherwick. You might recognize his undulating lines, the shape of the structure. Little Island is a replacement for a pier that was damaged during Hurricane Sandy. It's a private park, but it's open to the public. It's got some great views and an amphitheater space where they host ticketed events. And the other end of the High Line is in the neighborhood as well. The High Line is accessible along multiple points on 11th Avenue. In the same neighborhood as Little Island is Chelsea Market, which is one of our famous food halls where the Oreo cookie originated. Chelsea Market has a ton of great restaurants and stalls. My favorite spot is Los Tacos #1. Now, if you have tacos where you come from, you don't need to have tacos in New York. We're not trying to compete with your tacos. We know they're not the best tacos. New Yorkers deserve tacos too, and this is what we can do, right? There also may be people who visit New York City who have never had a taco, and it's important we give them an opportunity to try a taco, right? So before you go home to your taco-less homeland, please try a taco. They're right up there with bagels, pizza, and hot dogs. Tacos. New York City, the island of Manhattan has 1.8 million people living on it, but on any given day, people are coming to the city for work, for school, doctor's appointments, shopping, just hanging out with friends, and we call that the dynamic population. And on a Wednesday afternoon, it's at its peak. There may be as many as 12 million people on the island of Manhattan. They're coming all kinds of ways. We have bridges and tunnels. The New York subway has about 6 million people riding it every weekday. And on the right, on the clock tower, is the Erie-Lackawanna train station and ferry depot. So ferry is an easy way to get from Manhattan, New Jersey to Manhattan. On the left up ahead, you might see an apartment building that looks like like a game of Jenga, and we do call it the Jenga building. On the right hand side coming up is a white face on the waterfront with her finger to her lips saying shh. That is Water Soul by the artist Jaume Plenza. Plenza wanted us all to pause and listen to the message of the river. And we could all pause and listen to the message of the river, practice those listening skills we talked about during the safety speech. What does the river have to say? I think the river says, clean me up, please, clean me up. So we're working on it, River. We got a couple projects to clean up New York Harbor. So White Face is Water Soul by Plenza. Behind Water Soul is Jersey City, one of the fastest growing cities in the nation. 30 years ago, you never would have confused it for Manhattan. It was mostly shipping and industry, cranes. But now there's so many skyscrapers on the right-hand side, people often confuse it for Manhattan. The boat jutting out into the Hudson River are these brown towers, which are the ventilation towers for the Hall Tunnel, which runs underneath the riverbed here. So there's 90-some fans in each tower to filter out the air every 90 seconds in the tunnels. On the left, there's a building that looks like it has some waves going up the side of it. That's an apartment building by the architect Frank Gehry. And to the right of it is a building with a green top and a Gothic towers. That's the Woolworth building by Cass Gilbert from 1913. And then coming up on the left is One World Trade with the big spire on top, the tallest building in the Western Hemisphere. It's 1,776 feet tall, or 1776, for the year of the United States' independence. In order to achieve that height, they put a 400-foot spire on the top of the building, which I think is cheating if you're going for tallest building in the world award. But nobody asked me, so they're going to keep the Western Hemisphere title. There is a restaurant and observation deck on the top floors of One World Trade. About as tall as that building is without the spire on top. Today, the 9/11 memorial is on the ground. 2 infinity pools and the footprints where the Twin Towers originally stood, with enough streams of water to represent all the lives lost in the attacks. And the names of the people who lost their lives are etched around the pools so that the people who went to lunch together, who were friends, their names are close together. And if you see a white rose in somebody's name, it means it's their birthday today.
Diciendo que es la más alta del mundo. ¿La qué? La más alta del mundo. ¿Esta? Esa era la más alta del mundo que Uruguay. Estaba diciendo eso.
On the left-hand waterfront, there's a white tent, which is our ferry terminal. And just past it, a glass arch structure will come into view. That's the Winter Gardens. It's right across the street from the 9/11 memorial. You may be able to see the white wings of the oculus through the glass arch structure. On the left-hand side, the neighborhood is called Battery Park City. It's actually all landfill from when they've dug out all the subway tunnels over the years. The island of Manhattan is 20% bigger than it originally was. And so there's a lot of landfill lines. If you're curious where those lines and the timeline is, you can check out a cool Manhattan landfill map. On the right-hand side is the Colgate clock. soap bath.